Don't start that business just yet if you're in your late teens or early 20s, because the information that I'm about to give you in this video can potentially save you relationships, money, and most importantly, time. And the reason why I'm focused on the younger demographic in this video, us late 20s, early 30s, even 40-year-olds lack time to give. And if you're willing to sacrifice time, this information can help you too. Let's get into it. So if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in starting a business, or maybe you already pulled the trigger. Either way, this video is going to help you out tremendously. And you're probably wondering, who am I to give you the information to start a business? Well, I started a couple businesses in the past, and no, it didn't always go well. But when a business does not go well, you learn a lot from all the things you went through in order to get the business to where it's at. And just because a business failed doesn't mean you don't take a lot away from it. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything I took away from it, and maybe you can avoid your business failing like mine did from the information I can give you that I now know from all the failures I had throughout business. If I was to do it all over again, I would definitely do it the way I'm about to tell you. The first piece of advice, this one's gonna hurt the people who already pulled the trigger on the business, but don't start the business. Or in your case, the people who pulled the trigger, put a pause on the business for now and all the operations. If you already have employees, of course, that might be a little bit more difficult. Maybe slow down with it, because I'm telling you not to start the business, to actually find a job within the industry of the business you want to start. So go work for the company that already does what you do at a higher level. And if there isn't a company that's already doing what you do, you have a blue ocean. And that's not always a good thing, because if the ocean is a little too blue, it might not even have customers there. So don't try to come up with the newest idea, because a lot of the times when you come up with the newest idea, you're really not the first to do it. And a lot of people was before you, but they seen there wasn't much money to be made in that industry, so they walk away from it. And it seems like you have a good idea because you're the only one doing it. Not always a good thing. You want competitors. Competitors mean that there's a lot to be made in that industry a lot of the times. Of course, some blue oceans are truly blue oceans. I mean, how do we come up with some of the things we have today? Somebody had to start it, and then there had to be somebody that copied. But my first point of advice, I would say work for the industry that you want to start the business in. And once you find a legit job in the industry that you actually want to start the business in, take that job serious. It's not like you're going to get paid a lot. I don't think you will. As a matter of fact, you should try to work for free. That's why I'm talking to my younger demographic. People in their late 20s, early 30s, even 40s, they need to make an income because they probably have a lot of expenses that they have to pay for. They may have kids. They may have a lot of different things that they can't lower their income at the moment. But if you're in your late teens, early 20s, you have the luxury of maybe not making as much as somebody that's a lot older. So take the time to just learn, soak up everything from the job that you get in the industry you want to start the business in. Okay, so now you have the job in the industry that you want to start the business in. Now you have to find a good mentor. And this is easier said than done, because finding a good mentor, somebody that'll show you the ropes, somebody that'll show you everything you need to know in order to operate everything on your own and eventually take your mentor's spot, is not as easy as you would think, because most people do not want to give you the information. Basically what they want to do is gatekeep the information, because they always want to be at the top, or they don't want anybody taking their spot. And this happens in all industries. So you would actually have to be a good worker. You can't be somebody that's just there and not really putting in a lot of work. So when you get the job, you actually have to do a lot of work. You have to be the hardest worker typically at the job in order to get the attention of the mentor you truly want. Because anybody will tell you what you need to know, but there's somebody there that can tell you what you want to know, the things that you actually need to actually understand what you're doing. So whenever you decide to start that business in the industry you're working for currently, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where to go. You know the distributors, you know the logistic systems, and you don't have to learn all that stuff on your own dime. Not only do you not have to learn it on your own dime, but hopefully if you're not doing this unpaid, you're getting paid to learn it. is a win-win situation. But finding a good mentor comes first, because if you don't find that mentor, it'll be hard to learn this information without going through people who don't really want to tell you and could give you wrong information to where you take that into your business when it's time to step away from this job. A pro tip: while you're actually working this job, don't tell anybody your next move. Don't tell anybody that you want to start a business similar to this one, especially the boss or your mentor, because then they will know you will one day become a competitor. So they will actually start to feed you not really wrong information, but not all the information you need to know in order to start the business. Or they can make the manufacturers, your logistic team, or whoever you have to work with within the business that you're trying to start, as well as the one you're working for currently, they can make them dislike you before you even get out there on your own. Because the same way they can make it a lot easier for you, they can also make it a lot harder for you. So it's just best to keep your future plans to yourself, keep your head down, stay focused. And I'm telling you, you will go up the ladder a lot quicker than anybody else. But the quicker you go up the ladder, you're not trying to get raises. You're just trying to understand what they know that you don't know. So when you get out there on your own, you know exactly what to do without having a bunch of mistakes. You're still going to make mistakes, but that's a part of running a business. But you would just make a lot less mistakes than someone who hasn't had the training you had. This next tip I'm about to say is the most important tip. And this one actually cut deep with me, because I actually made this mistake when I was starting in the industry that I wanted to be in. But I did all the steps I told you. I found a mentor. I worked for a place that was in the industry I wanted to start a business in, and I did the whole nine. My mentor was one of the most known in the industry I was in. I thought I picked a good mentor. It seemed like he had the right intentions when he was teaching me everything, but I made one mistake. I didn't realize if I really wanted to be in the industry that I was in. I didn't know if I wanted to do business in the industry I was in. And when you work for a place that's in the industry of the business that you want to start, you see all the things that comes with the business. And you like, I don't really want to attach my likeness to this business. I don't really want to be known for this, but you don't know that until you see it in real time. So maybe you don't even really want to start a business in the thing you think you want to start a business in, because running a business is different than doing your hobby. It's different from you waking up and doing something just because you love it, because a business has to generate revenue, and a business has to learn to get along with other individuals. You have to have different tiers of workers in your business. And maybe you won't like every single tier of worker that you want working for you or you're working for. So by working in the industry that you want to start the business in, it shows you all of that. So you can see it firsthand with your own eyes. Like, maybe I don't want to be a part of this. Maybe I don't want to start a business in this. And what that does is, that's very clear. It saves you a lot of time. It saves you a lot of money. And you don't have to burn bridges with people that can be potentially very important in any industry you join. In the time that you're working for this company, you have to look at it like college. A lot of people spend a ton of money in order to attend college, and they do that to better themselves or to further their education so they can have a higher salary in the future. And you're doing the exact same by working for this company. You're just trying to learn everything that they do. And for the most part, when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you haven't really been exposed to that. That's my tips on the perfect way to start a business, because starting the business is not the hard part. Actually having a successful business is the hard part. And majority of people don't get there. And unfortunately for me, I still haven't reached that goal yet. But if I could do it all over again, I would definitely follow those tips, because the step that got me the most was the step when I seen, do I really want to do this for a business? And I didn't want to do it as a business, but I did it anyways. And it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. How can I be surprised? I seen it beforehand, but I still decided to go into that industry. So maybe if something is telling you, hey, this is not for you, you should probably listen. If you're young, you have time, but you don't have all the time in the world. So still use it very wisely. But with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.